cat in the
Hello.
back.
Oh, yes, I have a cat. And hello and welcome to the Inspired Podcast. Today, my name is Caroline. My today's guest is Andra Annette. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Oh, yes, me too. It's a pleasure meeting you today, and I want to introduce you a little bit to the audience. You sent me your bio, and you are international best-selling author, speaker, TV host, CEO of Chronicles of Courage and Pounds to Go. And this is very interesting. You absolutely have to tell us more about that. Would you do this?
Okay, sure. The Chronicles of Courage is a TV network, and it's really about lifting other people up and sharing their stories with the world. I think that people heal through stories, and I've been in healthcare over 40 years now in different aspects of health. So I'm a nurse, a holistic practitioner, a leaky gut, thyroid, and weight loss expert. And I know the power of stories. Maybe being in those books really inspired me to share others because I did release things that I was holding on to that I wasn't even aware of. And this world, you meet so many different people, and those interactions cause things in our body. So a lot of sickness is based on feelings and emotions and those things we hold on to that we don't release. So I think by telling those stories, it will really help people get past certain traumas and heal and be inspired to share their story because it is a big part of healing, putting it out there. So many people think things that have happened to them are really their fault, and it's not.
Yes, that's so true what you're saying. And I wanted to ask you what inspired you to change or to go that way into TV show host and podcasts, etc. And you answered the question already, the art of storytelling and about other people as well. And I was not aware what you said, the healing in the stories. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I've had one. My first show was Healing from the Inside Out because I hear a lot of people out on the internet separating the body. I spent my life connecting in the community, the hospitals, and where I've worked. So the show was originally to help people understand that it is a unit of one, and separating it causes more sickness. That if you're emotionally broke or spiritually unwell, or physically ill, you're sick. It doesn't matter where the sickness comes from. And then during that journey, I've met so many incredible women while I'm out here, and two of them are CJC Boyd and Leslie Gaudet. And I asked them to be hosts on the show with me. And we wanted to speak for people that maybe don't have a voice. So we started speaking on elder abuse, modern day slavery, sex trafficking, the broken foster care system. And we found that a lot of people connected to that because we're not just, this isn't really about us. A lot of people think their journey is about them, but
Mhm.
it's really not. It is about the people we serve and who we're trying to help. So healing is a multi-dimensional thing. So part of that healing is learning to express yourself and communicate what you felt, what you went through, how you hurt, and how you can heal. And this is just another outlet where people can share it. The books certainly help, but I think verbalizing it and putting it out there where you really just can't take those words back gives you a certain strength. The A true story is I've worked in theater, I've been a model, I've done all kinds of things over the course of my life, but I've never liked being in front of a camera. Since I was a small child, every picture that I've taken, I'm crying in. I don't like being photographed. Something about holding that place in time, even though we are meant to be present. But when I came out, it made me uncomfortable. Even though I've been doing this my whole life, it made me uncomfortable to talk to people in this setting
Mhm.
online.
Yeah.
I'm more of that in person. So I started interviewing people and I found that I just loved it. And the more that they shared their stories with me, the more engulfed I became, and the more I wanted to share more people's stories. And it's just become part of what I do now.
Yeah, it's exactly what I do as well with this podcast. It's connecting people and also tell the story of other people, your story, what inspired you, and the transition as well from one, how do you call it, industry to the other. Like, yeah, what makes people transform. And I can relate to that, what you said about being afraid of speaking or being in front of the camera. I never loved being photographed as well as you said, and I burned the photos. When I see photos of mine from when I was a child, then I don't want to see it anymore. So thank you for sharing. It helps. It helps. And yeah, to share, to tell the stories. And who inspires you? You already mentioned 2 or 3 people. Do you have mentors or coaches you work with?
Not currently. I work with them, but more in social settings.
Mhm.
So people that inspire me are the people that got me really into nursing, like Florence Nightingale. People like that inspire me. I don't know that people that I encounter on a day to day, they inspire me to keep going. CJ absolutely inspires me to keep going. Laura Lett. But I think I'm inspired by all people. I've always felt a sense of connection to people that was more intuitive and went way beyond what I shared with them on a day to day basis. I was that person that was a people watcher since I was a child. And I was always able to read what was going on with them, where in the body they were hurting. So it was only natural for me to really go into the path I did. So, but lots of people inspire me to be better. But I think the biggest influence in my life was really my sister Dee Dee. She always encouraged me, and my mother, that I could be anyone I wanted to. They're not with us today, but they've left such an indelible mark in my life that they are the people that really inspired me on this journey.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I love it. What you said about the people and your journey as well. And how do you inspire other people?
I encourage people to be who they are, because everybody tends to look outside themselves. And Carolyn, since the time we're very young, we're taught to go to college, to get a degree, to get married, to have children. We're always taught to have extensions of ourselves to be more valued in this world. And we don't need to have extensions of ourselves. Being ourselves is all we need to be. It's valuable enough. And I don't think too many people really feel into who they are. I certainly always didn't. And I know the difference in my life when I wasn't self confident in my ability, and the difference when I made that change and I started believing that I did have the power to achieve anything I wanted. My world changed because I had hope and faith and belief in something, not just myself, but something greater than myself, that I'm here for something more, that it's not just about the day to day and being in the minute. It's about being involved in everything that's around us, because we're all connected. And a lot of people don't understand that we are all connected here. And the more that people try to divide us, I think the more unity it's going to bring. I think people are starting to see that division is really not the way to lift each other up. And the more that we lift each other up and empower people, certainly I share other people with my audience. They may be doing the same thing I'm doing. I don't feel threatened by them in any way, because the whole point of my journey is to help people on their healing journey. So if someone that I bring in my audience is a better fit for them, as long as that person gets the help they need, isn't that really the point? So it's not always about us. And when we start to make it about us, we really miss the point of the path that we're on.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes, it's about serving and helping other people. And because what we give, we receive as well, not from the same person, but from universe, from God. Of course, we are provided. And I love that very much what you said. So what are your gifts and talents?
I think my biggest superpower is that I can really read what people say.
Mhm.
Not so much the verbal, but the physical. I've always been able to tune into people's body, and I didn't like it as a child.
Mhm.
I didn't like it at all. But I could feel when people were in pain or something was wrong or off in their body. And I used to try to turn it off, and it serves me better to tune into it because it really helped me over the course of my career. I remember telling doctors that something was wrong, and they were like, "Where do you get this stuff from?" And they were surprised that I was right on point, that they would find exactly what I said was there. And I said, "Well, I just have to trust myself."
Yes.
So I think that's really my superpower. My gifts is just inspiring others. I think believing in people. I think in our lives we have times where no one believes in us and no one holds space for us,
Yes.
and we don't feel valued. And I think that we can continue to feel that way, or we can turn that around and help others feel that way, because we do know how it felt, and we want to serve in a different way. We want to be what we see in this world. Certainly there were a lot of times in my life that I didn't feel valued and I didn't feel I had worth, and other people, perfect strangers, gave me the courage to go on and inspired me and believed in me. So I think we need to pay that forward.
Yes. Can you do this with me right now? You said you can read people. We didn't meet before, like in that way.
I can read what's going on in people's bodies, if things are off, if there's sickness and stuff like that. But I also do a physical assessment with them as well, family history and things like that. So it's not that I just look at you and say, "Oh, Carolyn, you're having trouble in your abdomen," but I can sense when something's off. And the more I talk to them, the more I pull it out of them, because people say things verbally, but their
Mhm.
body says something very different. And I only see you from the neck up. So
Mhm.
your lower body might be saying something totally different. But a lot of times people will cross their hands and you think that they're comfortable with you and your presence because you're attempting to, but they're telling you they're closed off and they're not comfortable with the situation at all. And you do have to value that and step back and give them that space and those boundaries, and hold space for them until they are comfortable for you. But there are a lot of times people will tell you, some people are stoic and they
Mhm.
don't express pain, but they may be guarding a certain part of their body. So I always picked up on those things.
Yeah. Wow, I understand. Okay. Yeah, this is amazing. I would love to know more, of course. And I have one last question for you. When people reach out to you after listening to this podcast episode, how can they help you? And do you have special offers and services?
I do one-to-one sessions. I do connect the gut brain access again, but a lot of that is mind. So a lot of people think their health journey is a physical process, but it really is in the mind as well. And you do have to reconnect those, because if you don't believe you can achieve something, you never will.
Mhm.
So yes, I do have group and one-to-one sessions available. Yes. So my website is poundstogo.com. They could always book a call there. And I have membership sites. Not everybody needs a 3-month plan or a 6-month plan. Somebody might just be stuck with something that they're working on. Maybe someone just needs help working a diet or learning the best diet that's for them. There's lots of things. Some people have trouble with overeating or mindfulness. So I have lots of different programs.
Wow, I love that very much. So please connect. This is what this podcast is for, and I love it very much. Maybe you have the last message for the audience?
I think that whatever you're going through in this life, we always feel like we're the only ones that are experiencing it, and nobody else could possibly know what we're feeling or how this has impacted us. But there's always somebody out there that's feeling just like you do. So if you can be anything, be kind.
Yes. Wow. What a powerful message to end this podcast interview. Thank you so much. It was amazing. And see you in the next episode.